This is Rich. Rich was just a normal guy with a family and a full-time job. But a single car ride changed Rich. When Tesla released the Model S in 2012, one of Rich's friends took him for a ride, and he was obsessed. Destined to own one without the means to buy a brand new one, Rich set out to a salvage auto auction and bought a few insurance-totaled Model S's. Over a several-month period, in his home garage, Rich swapped the parts from these junk cars into one flood-damaged shell. In doing so, he came out with a single, complete, running and driving Tesla. Once the work was finished and all the spare parts were sold off, Rich had invested only $6,500 in one of the world's hottest cars. He uploaded his story on YouTube and captivated the universe. Rich's story was shared everywhere. He was the EV fanboy superhero. He quit his full-time job to grow his social media presence and pursue his entrepreneurial dreams. But the honeymoon was over, and Rich's life wasn't as star-studded as it seemed in his videos. He started dumping all the money he had made from his YouTube fame on weird experimental projects and a new business venture, the electrified garage. Rich lost his focus, and Rich was not. He wasted his money on frivolous goods like a one-off pair of Tesla Yeezys. He even had a custom diorama crafted of me, standing next to a chicken in a car he claims I never actually rebuilt. But what I really think did him in was the over $20,000 spent on a mold-ridden, muddy, flooded all the way to the roof for over 10 days Tesla P85D. Even the thought of rebuilding this car is the equivalent of thinking you could rebuild a car that caught on fire and turned mostly to ash. He made only a few videos on this car, and it was clear he was losing it. Rich was running on low with a severe case of range anxiety.
Rich even reached out to me for financial support, and I told him, you need to watch how you're spending your money. You need to learn how to budget, and you definitely need to download Honey, a free browser extension that saves you money every single time you shop online.
Now, I'm constantly ordering stuff for in-store pickup at the local auto parts store. I add what I need in my cart, and when I get to the checkout, the dancing coin guy pops up and applies the internet's best coupon codes to my order. There's no extra legwork on my end, and on just this order alone, I saved over $40. Besides those coupon savings, while shopping online, you can earn Honey Gold, which is redeemable for gift cards at stores like Walmart, eBay, and Amazon. Speaking of Amazon, Honey compares all available sellers on the items you're purchasing to assure you the lowest price before checking out. It's truly an incredible tool that works on thousands of retailers, including travel sites and even restaurants.
Honey installs in literally 2 clicks. Again, it's totally free, and you can get it by clicking my link in the description box below. Now check this out. Everybody that's downloaded Honey using that link or by visiting joinhoney.com/samcrack has collectively saved over $390,000. So I want to give a huge thanks to Honey for saving my viewers so much money and for also sponsoring this video.
Regardless of his personal situation, Rich is an inspiration in the same way Lil Nas X is an inspiration. You can keep making new remixes of Old Town Road, but at the end of the day, you're still a one-hit wonder. We get it. You built the Tesla in your garage. You can install a new bumper and wrap it primer grade to pass it off as a newer model, but it's not. Even though Rich has vowed to bring back his flood-damaged Tesla projects, I couldn't wait any longer. I hopped on the salvage auctions and found this silver P85D with the Ludicrous Mode Upgrade. This is the Tesla that goes 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds, roasting Lamborghinis that cost 4 times its price. Now, these cars wrecked are still selling for numbers that even Tesla shareholders can't stomach, so I didn't get my hopes up, but when auction day came, I threw in a lowball bid and was astonished when I won. And I mean, just look at the pictures. I'm wondering why this Tesla's even at the salvage auction. It's listed as a run and drive, and all it looks like it needs is a pair of bumpers and a good wash. Since I'm tired of repairing cars sitting on the ground, I called up my good friend Alex Palmieri from the channel Legit Street Cars and had the Tesla shipped directly to his workshop. And the second the car arrived, the fun began, with a bit more damage than we had bargained for.
He's getting the jumper right now so we can get in the car, but look at this. They just crammed the bumper inside. Not cool at all, especially with this light colored interior. I'm hoping it's not ripped and we can just clean it up. I got the key, I got the jumper hooked up, and I go up to the door and it's not doing anything. Yeah, I've tried pushing this handle in. Oh, it just popped out of nowhere. I didn't have to do anything. We did it! Dude, how many times did we do that? 10 times and it just happens right now? You're the lucky charm. They did cram this bumper in the interior. It's horrible, dude. Like, it's all, I mean, I don't know if anything's cut yet, but I have to take it out of the car to even get in here, so. All right.
Should we pop all the doors since we have power?
Yeah, let's just do that.
Oof.
I got one bumper out.
Is it both bumpers in there?
Yeah, we got both bumpers, but I don't know what the condition are. I mean, they're like, yeah, like one of them, the front is definitely just completely mangled. The AC's blasted. It's in service mode. Whatever that is. The AC's cold, so that's good. Like, why did they even give us this bumper? Look at this thing. Okay, we're in service mode. Unable to charge, vehicle system over temperature limit. Charging current unavailable.
And that thing's beeping. You want me to go move the wires around?
We got 0 miles of range. All right, Sam, so we got service mode, vehicle system over temperature limit, jack mode enabled, and 0 miles of range. And then a huge service mode on the screen, so.
Are you able to throw it in gear and it moves very slow or anything?
You know what, he's taking the straps off right now. Let me just try, hang on. Oh, I think it will move. So it looks like there's a condenser with a fan it's just like totally hanging off. So yeah, the front end, the crash bar looks okay, but it does look like the radiator is smashed into the bottom. Oh, you know what, dude? It's got a completely broken control arm. There's no way this thing is gonna drive. They listed it as a running and driver or whatever?
Yes.
Oh, no, it's completely snapped off. Like, this thing went off road. It's got dirt crammed in under like the whole bottom. And completely broken off the like the subframe. I'm hoping like a replaceable.
It still won't. It won't just drive off like cockeyed or anything like that.
I mean, we're gonna find out, man. We're gonna find out, but it's laying on the ground. It's crazy. Like, the front crash bar and the hood and the headlights and the fenders—they're all like really nice. Like, no weird panel gaps anywhere. The doors look really nice. There is a dent on the roof.
Like a little dent?
No, like a pretty decent.
Whoa, let's go back for a minute. Remember those auction photos? Do you remember a damaged roof? I sure don't. That's because they didn't even show the roof in the photos. Well, I must have missed it in the listing. They had to have marked the secondary damage as the roof, right? Well, I guess not. This is severely disappointing, especially since the Tesla's body is made out of aluminum, which is much more costly to repair than steel. This damage definitely assisted in totaling this car, and it wasn't marked anywhere. If I had to take a guess, the roof damage, if repairable, would start around $2,000 to fix, but if it needs a roof replacement, triple that figure. At this point, we'll have to take this up with the auction later. And if anything, maybe the massive crease will make the car more aerodynamic in Ludicrous Plus mode.
That front.
With no range and a destroyed hose that let all the coolant out of the Tesla, Alex had a bit of troubleshooting to do. A friend advised him on how to get the car out of service mode, but also warned that really the only way to get the car to charge again was to get the coolant back into the system, specifically the battery pack. You see, the car won't charge if it doesn't detect the proper amount of coolant in the pack so the heat doesn't destroy the battery while charging. This friend, also a Tesla tech, stated that the only way he knew of getting coolant through the system properly would be through a Tesla dealer computer. As an ex-Mercedes-Benz master tech, Alex took the warning seriously. However, he noticed the coolant pump cycling when performing certain actions on the Tesla. Alex was able to restore the coolant to the pack without the use of any factory-level computer, and he documented the entire process on his channel, Legit Street Cars, so make sure you check that video out. With the suspension still wonky, Alex moved the car into his neighbor's driveway and used his Tesla charger to gain a few dozen miles on the P85D's pack. Then he slowly moved the car back into his garage. Now we could begin its rebuild. All right, so right off the bat, we see right here, we got a busted condenser, pretty bent up cooler. Is this the radiator?
Yeah, that's the only radiator for the battery from what I can tell.
Yeah, we got a busted up radiator support. Luckily, right here, this is the main autopilot sensor. It looks perfect. And that, I'm guessing, is an expensive piece, but we haven't really shopped it because we don't need it. This hose does not look like a piece of Tesla hose. What's going on here?
This was my doing. I had to loop out the radiator for it to charge. It was leaking coolant everywhere, so I did a little homemade jobby that looks fantastic under the frunk, but it works.
Yeah, so the only other thing I see in this front end right here, looks like we need a new control arm. That should be pretty simple. Oh, never mind here. I see that the subframe, darn it, is completely ripped off. And see, that's the mounting piece that the control arm mounts into the subframe right here. And when you have something like this, I mean, I guess you could attempt to weld patch this. I would never do that. I think you'd want to get a replacement subframe, don't you think?
Yeah, we have to replace the subframe. Although if we welded this up, it might look a little bit better than the factory Tesla welds. This one cracked, but take a look at the poor job that they did. There's dingleberries, if you want to call them that, all over the place. I thought robots welded these things together, but it doesn't look that good. I'm not gonna lie, I've seen a lot better on some other cars.
It is pretty surprising. Even the weld jobs I've gotten from professional welders look quite a bit better than stuff like that. But anyway, we're gonna do a subframe along with all the stuff that we showed you here. We keep going along. The big, expensive component on this car, the battery. Since it's the P85D, this is, from what I understand, what, like a 15?
It's like 15 to 18 used, I believe.
Yeah, $15,000 to $18,000. A few superficial scratches right here. You know, we'll just use a little bit of Bondo on that. Okay, I'm kidding. But here's our little bit more involved scratches. But again, to me, these are scratches. They're pretty superficial. But what I do notice, we get this green insurance marker here. It's the insurance company's job to get this car back to OEM spec after an accident. And I don't know if that means that they would want to replace this entire battery. This could easily be one of the totaling factors in this car. All right, let's jump right into dropping this subframe out. Obviously, we support a few things here, but it should come right out with a few bolts. What do you see?
You know, it looks easy. Don't get me wrong. Like when I first lifted it, I'm like, this is simple because we only have 6 bolts. We have one in the front that goes into the frame, one in the middle that goes in the frame, but the back 2 bolts, they're very accessible, but the battery is on the bottom side, which means the battery needs to get out of the way for us to move the subframe out.
So you're telling me we're gonna remove the battery that starts here, ends all the way over here, just to take that subframe out?
Honestly, dude, I don't really know. I've never worked on a Tesla before, but you know who does know? Rich. Just give him a call.
Dude, you serious? Call Rich? He wants nothing to do with me. Besides, I haven't even told him about this thing. If he knew I was rebuilding a Tesla, it'd be like me calling him and telling him I'm dating his ex-girlfriend.
So you're saying you want to drop this battery? Because honestly, I don't even know if we can. I definitely don't know how to.
I guess you're right. I mean, the guy knows everything there is about taking one of these cars apart. I've seen him take a battery out of a Tesla on his videos like 3 or 4 times. So I'll give him a call, kind of dance around it, but I can't lie to him.
Sammy! What's up, buddy?
Rich, it's been a little while. How are you doing?
I'm going through a hard time right now. YouTube's not going so well. I'm losing subscribers left and right. Things aren't going so well at all, dude.
Oh, I'm really sorry to hear, man. But I did have a quick question for you. When it comes to the Tesla Model S, I've seen you pull the battery out of those cars like a bunch of times in your videos. Is that always required to do any major service on the front end? Say I wanted to like pull the subframe out.
Yeah, you can do that. You could easily do that. You could actually loosen up the bolts in the front and you could tilt the front of the battery forward and then you could actually end up sliding it out. So you don't have to drop the whole battery. No, not at all. Why do you want to know?
You know, Rich, that's a great question. And I gotta be honest with you, I got an incredible deal on a P85D at the Salvage Auction. I mean, I only paid...
Sammy the Snake.
I think he just hung up on me.
Well, did he tell you what we need to know?
Yeah, he did say that we should be able to do it.
Huh. All right, cool.
Before we do any work on this car, we gotta be safe and disconnect the fireman's safety loop. Now, Tesla marks this really nicely for first responders. It shows just to cut that wire, but if you pull up right here, this is the housing for the air filter. You can go and just unplug this harness, and now there is no power to the battery in this car.
All right, so we gotta get everything from under the frunk or the hood here that's attached to the subframe. So I've never done this before, but we have what looks to be an ABS module. We have one coolant pump here, one here, an air block, an air pump. That's all I know right now. So we're gonna unbolt all of that stuff, kind of zip tie it away, and then hopefully we can just pull the subframe out from the bottom.
That's the last piece right there. Our front end of the Tesla teardown went really pretty darn quick. Isn't it amazing like how easy it was to work on this car?
I mean, this was like a half hour, roughly.
Yeah.
Like a half hour, 40 minutes, that's it. Seriously, there's nothing to it. It's awesome. All right, so it looks like we have pretty much everything disconnected except for the major suspension components. So we got to drop the control arms on both sides. There are two of them. We have already loosened up our rack, and I think that is all that is attached to this subframe. And of course, we're going to try and slide it forward without touching the battery at all, but it's very doubtful that's going to work. So at that point, we're supporting the front of the battery, trying to lower it, and hope for the best.
Is it running up against the battery?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's not even close.
Oh my gosh.
What the heck?
Let's see here.
I mean,
Oh man.
that's not even close. So,
Batteries, you gotta drop.
no, there's no way they made it so you have to drop the battery to do a control arm. That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, the bolt could like, it could just go that way.
We are really puzzled in the way that Tesla assembled this control arm from the factory. If they were to just flip this bolt around, put the bolt head in through this way, put the nut in there, you'd be able to take this control arm in and out in probably about 30 minutes to an hour book time. But now, since the head is up against the battery, you're talking about literally an entire battery drop and replace because of one single bolt. So there's no real appropriate way to pull this bolt out or pull the control arm out without dropping your entire Tesla battery. So we're gonna do things the inappropriate way. We're going to use the bargain tool store $9.99 Tesla approved cutting wheel or angle grinder paired with a slightly larger 5-inch cutting wheel. You usually use a 4.5 one on these. We're gonna just slice that bolt right there, pull it out. That should allow us to pull the subframe forward and out of the car without dropping the entire battery. That's it! They're out. Perfect. Now this is loose. All we got to do is get that side loose. This subframe is really close to coming out. There we go. This thing's pretty much loose at this point, right? But it's being held in just by this.
Yeah, it's being held in literally by the battery right now. So what we're gonna do, get our support right under the battery again, and then try and pry the subframe forward, and that's it.
Yeah. This is exciting, man. If we get this out without taking the battery out,
That's huge.
we kind of are the new Tesla mechanics.
Yeah, I mean, we're master certified for sure.
Cool. This thing going up and in. Right there on top of the sway bar. Okay. And then oh yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah, I still got more. Okay. Zip ties, we're holding her in. Whew. This is the part that was keeping our Tesla from driving. This is one of the major reasons this car was totaled out. And as you can see, we were able to remove the subframe and keep the battery installed the entire time. Now, all we're gonna do is take some of these little brackets you see here, swap them over to our replacement subframe. We're gonna get this back in the car. It's a bunch of reassembly from there, and the mechanical part of this Tesla rebuild will be complete. Here. Yeah, I can tighten a little bit here. Man, 2 bolts securing our new used subframe in. This is awesome. This car should go back together. Well, what do you?
Dude, we're getting this done today. We're driving this car, Ludicrous Plus mode.
All right.
I'm not going to work until it's done. All right, dude, we are putting everything back together now that she's on the ground. Basically, this is gonna go back together like a very, very easy puzzle because it just all kind of places in there. Like there's our air pump, it's in, that's in. This one is almost in. I mean, look at that, seriously, there's so much room in here. It's so easy to work on. It's so nice that we don't actually have a gasoline engine. And yeah, we're zipping this together maybe another hour or so and we'll have this, all of this buttoned up.
Up top is our old radiator support. You can see there's a chunk missing out of it. Right here is our brand new radiator support, brand new used one that we're going to transfer a few modules. There's a module right there and right there that belongs there and there. Then we've got a few brackets. There's some stuff on the underside as well. Module here that's already there. Some other stuff. We're just gonna transfer everything over real quick before we get it back in the Model S. So Alex, if the radiator and the other parts you just pressure washed were underwater for, let's say like 10 days, there's a chance that maybe electrically this fan is wonky?
There's a chance. Some of these are, I think, are pretty well sealed, but I mean, 10 days is a very long time for a car to be underwater, especially with, if this car had a lot of electronics in it, that could present a big issue. It could potentially not ever get rebuilt, realistically.
So you're gonna test it right now?
Yeah.
Well, feels nice.
Yeah, I think we're good. What do you got going on here, Sam?
I am swapping our fan motors that we almost missed. Cause like seriously, look at how hidden these things are.
Yeah.
They're just these little flaps. These are just stuck shut. This is off of our donor part here. And ours work pretty nice. Well, they work because I took them.
That helps.
But no, these ones definitely were under some water. So they are stuck shut.
Why do you look so clean?
Well, because I just like to wash my hands a lot.
Ah, okay.
Alex, you honestly look pretty clean today too. We're not working on suspension stuff.
That's true.
Chill it out. If everybody thinks this looks kind of easy, it's because it is easy. So I highly recommend you build a Tesla in Alex's garage. Because look at all the tools he's got back here.
So many tools.
Here we go. So where did this thing just... Oh, I think we got to slide the radiator support on first, and then the crash bar, and then this goes, right? Does that sound about the right order?
Yeah, yeah, right. Crash bar, plastic thing, crash bar, then another plastic thing.
Okay.
Those are the official terms.
So Alex, you just swapped over the autopilot module. Tell me what, like, is there anything special about this thing?
Well, there is a silver button. I believe that is an official Tesla reset button in case the autopilot fails and you get an accident. You can actually reset it and then try it again.
Okay, and it was really simple. It just like what, went over with a few bolts?
Yeah, it was like 2 bolts. We swapped it over. It took about 1 minute. And you can see here on the inside, the hardware that holds it to the plastic framing. And those are 10mm bolts.
Okay, yeah, real simple.
Yep,
and then
couple
did you sign it like right?
Yeah, I signed it just to let everybody know that I fully torqued the bolts and that they are installed 100% properly.
Great job. The hoses go through the holes on the bottom. And then I'm just gonna move this up and out of the way. Big thanks to Mrs. Legit Streetcars behind the camera for getting all these.
She's a pro. I gotta go down.
Just gotta go down just a little bit.
Just gotta go. Is this a bolt right here? Here.
Yes, I'm on.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? Let me just loosen up that 10. And I think I can slide it. Okay, There we go.
You're pushing it all the way?
Not all the way, but
Check this out, guys. The whole front end is pretty much on this car. A few more things to attach. We got a ground wire here and just miscellaneous harnesses to plug in. We're gonna put the headlights in place. So we gotta put the whole entire module that holds the horn and the condenser shrouds and all that stuff in place. And we've basically rebuilt a Tesla in, I was gonna say my home garage, but it's your home garage. Mm-hmm.
Two is pretty good, man. There's American curves that are only held in by 2.
Check it out.
Oh wait.
Only 1, yeah.
Oh, we literally. Oh, okay.
We're basically rebuilt here. One more lug nut. We're going to torque these things down. One more connector in the engine bay, the fireman safety loop. We've got a running and driving P85D. And the best part, it cost us way less than what they go for on the Tesla certified, whatever they call it, site. All right, got the loop connected back. Airbox assembled. Just put this cowl kind of where it goes back. Sorry. Ooh, you hear the coolant pump is circulating. Can we
we got to open that because we're gonna see some the level go down now because we're filling the radiator.
Cool.
So yeah.
Yeah, we lost obviously a little bit of coolant while we were working on it. So right now it's cycling, and hopefully it is ready for us to drive once we get it on the ground. First time in the Tesla, the key in my hand. Let's see. And the door, oh, there they go. Maybe it's because the first time that you just kind of get in. It says we got 71 miles and we have a software update.
Dude, we get a software update.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yes.
You got, well, it's on LTE, but do you have Wi-Fi out here too? Yeah, you probably do.
I think it is connected, yeah.
All right, so what do you want me to do, Alex?
We need to fire up the air suspension and lift it so I get the lift arm.
All right, so here, we're gonna close out of the update for right now, and then we're going to go to...
Bottom left, there you go.
And then we're gonna go to suspension, and then we're gonna go to jack mode. Press brake to enable, we're gonna go to jack mode.
No?
No?
Jack mode.
I already did it.
I think I have to click off.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to tap it. There you go.
Yeah. I can't believe this. This is like really weird. There's not a single noise. I guess that's one of the highlights of driving a Tesla, right? The battery pack was hardly full and the car still drove incredible. Ludicrous Mode feels like a straight punch in the gut, but of course we didn't really test that out in a neighborhood. The few spins around the block were equal to our victory laps. We just snagged a huge deal on one of the fastest Teslas ever. But as we were circling the block, the Tesla lost all its power. The accelerator pedal was dead. We coasted it back into his garage and had to slam on the brakes to get it to stop. And every single warning light appeared on the dashboard. At this point, my first thought was the cost of a P85D battery pack. 15, maybe 18 grand. Our pack, which previously lost all its coolant, the one Alex rigged back up in his garage, let's hope this deal didn't just turn into a major nightmare.
What is even going on right now? Look, it went into park. It won't even move. This thing it's stuck. What? Nothing works. My foot is on the brake and nothing, literally nothing works. Just drove this thing. I have no clue what's going on. Alex!
He'll never finish this thing now.
Why you be all on my line about nothing? Why won't you go get you $1 or something? Get you $1 or something. Why you be all on my line about nothing? Why won't you go get you $1 or something? Get you $1 or something. Why you be all on my line about nothing? Why won't you go get you $1 or something?